Could you tell me some of the things that sort of happened to bring you into hospital?
You mean at the very beginning?
Mm-hmm.
The first time I passed out in the hospital, I was 16. I had an appendectomy, and they were taking the clamps out of my side, and I passed out. But I don't know if that was psychological or pain or what. The next time I passed out was when my son was born in the hospital. I was in the labor room with my wife. I passed out. I got sick in my stomach. Several years, from the time I was 16 till I was 22, 6 years interval there. But I was not aware of anything. I functioned normally. After I passed out, when Steve was born, it was, I don't know, several months later, I passed out again in the hospital visiting an uncle. It was very warm, and I was standing, and I got sick in my stomach, and excused myself from the room without telling them why, and I went out to the hall to get some water, and I passed out. And so from then on I realized something was wrong. So I just said, well, I'll eliminate hospitals. And the family doctor said it was psychological then. Well, I didn't resent it or anything, I just didn't believe it. And I eliminated things one by one that I couldn't do. But I got to the point where I started building back. This is difficult.
What's difficult about it?
To tell it, to talk about it.
What sort of effect does it have on you?
I feel like I'm going to pass out. I mean,
just talking about it?
Yes, reviewing it. I feel I'm pinned in, I'm pinned down. It wouldn't be so, I could do it freer or with more ease if we were in my room, in my surroundings. I'm in different surroundings, I'm not used to it.
Why the difference?
This, I don't know. I'm just uncomfortable. Anyway, when we moved to Meridian 10 years ago and I went into television, I was at about my lowest ebb. I couldn't function except just go to work and come home. But after we moved to Meridian, it was, I suppose, good therapy for me to get away from Nashville and the influences of past childhood, a rather unhappy experience in radio. And TV was what I wanted, and I was enjoying it. I was enjoying some success, and I was able to get back to what I would say normal or average, adding back to my activity the things that I had cut off, such as eating out, going to shows, that type thing. Up until 3 years ago, I'd gotten to the point where I was willing to make a talk in church. I say I was willing. I'll have to retract that. I was not willing. They asked me to, and I said no. And they said, oh, being an announcer, you can make a talk in church. Rather than to argue with them or reason with them, I just went in and said, okay. But it was against my will. And about 5 minutes into the talk, I passed out. This was 3 years ago. And since then, I haven't been able to add back these things. I know when there's something I really don't want to do, I can usually find a way out. And I have more difficulty in day-to-day activity. I have more difficulty doing something when I don't want to do it. When there's something that I genuinely want to do, irregardless of whether it's going to present a problem for me or not, if I want to do it, I have less difficulty doing it. Whereas if I'm called on to do something that I don't want to do, I'll have more difficulty, and if it's extreme enough and I can't get out of it, I'll provide my own escape of passing out.
And you feel that you want help?
Yes. I have consulted Dr. Hightower, a psychiatrist, privately, from last April's year ago until January of this year, 3 days a week. I showed some improvement, but not enough to continue on financially. I just had to stop. I stopped the first of the year. About 3 or 4 months ago, I started consulting a social worker in Meridian that I know personally, who's on the staff of East Mississippi. She has done me actually more good in the last 3 or 4 months than I did the 9-month consulting the psychiatrist. This is not taking anything away from the psychiatrist. I don't know why I didn't show a great deal. We didn't uncover very much.
Do you think that you have a psychiatric problem and that this is what is causing your symptoms?
Yes. For a while, years and years ago, I thought it was organic, or after I started passing out, I said, well, I'm either an epileptic or I have a brain tumor or something like this. But I've been examined so many times, I know that I'm not epileptic, I don't have a tumor. It's all psychological, and I know it is. If I met you on the street, the latest thing that's been bothering me is my inability to stand. If I met you on the street or in the hall and had to stand and talk with you, just stand there, I couldn't do it. I'd pass out. I would have to find a place to sit down. This is now going on at work, in my administrative work, when I meet a fellow employee who is coming to ask me something or something of that nature. When I meet him in the hall, I'll say, well, come on in the office and let's talk about it. This will give me an opportunity to sit at my desk, and they can sit in a chair and we can discuss it. Some days I feel pretty good and I'm not bothered with this. Other days it's very severe. Other days noticeable. It varies. Some days I feel that I could do most anything. Other days, like today, this is down day, as I call it. Tomorrow might be up day, I don't know. Learned that I don't have much facility for showing anger, or I won't show anger. I try to pretend that everything is just going along fine. I won't accept anger, I suppose. I accept it, but I store it up, and I won't express it. Dr. Davis has repeated several times, I've never noticed any anger out of you this week, and I've insisted that there hasn't been anything to make me mad. He said there must be some things, and when I stop and really look at it from way down, why, I do realize that I don't show my anger.
Have you been able to change at all in this respect?
Yeah, I told him this morning I was pretty mad. Because I want to go home next weekend and I can't get a commitment out of him. But just like then, when I said, yeah, I'm mad, I laughed. Yeah. Instead of showing anger, I laughed. I realize this. I realize I'm doing this, but I fail really completely to see how that can make me, can cause my trouble. But I'm sure it can. Oh, definitely. Definitely. I think my outlook is better. My mobility might not be any better, but my outlook is better, and my understanding of the thing is a little better.
What do you think about this suggestion concerning anger?
I accept it. I believe it.
You mentioned that you couldn't make the connection between, say, being angry and your symptoms.
I'm sure it must be true. I haven't been able to see the exact connection. I'm perfectly willing to accept it and I believe it. But as yet, it hasn't, the full realization hasn't hit me that this is what's causing my problem.
Well, why do you think you're tense now?
Now,
Yes.
I'm just generally apprehensive. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I don't know what you're going to ask me. In view of what I just learned, maybe I'm afraid you're going to ask me something that'll make me mad.
Why'd you be afraid of that?
I wouldn't want to let you know that I was mad.
Would you?
No, this is the problem, and my inability to show anger is that I don't want the other person to know that I'm mad, so I try to cover it up. And the reason I don't want you to know that I would be mad is because I feel that if I let you know that you had made me mad, then you wouldn't like me. It's a childlike light thing. Go to hell with your test. I can't do that, but really that's what I want to do.
Why can't you say this?
Well, I know I have to do it. And neither do I want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Well, why not?
Well, this is the key to my problem, it seems. I don't want to. I don't want people angry at me. I don't want people to accept me. I don't want any rejection anywhere. And it looks like I'm fighting a losing battle on that. They're about to convince me that this is an impossible attitude to maintain.
Do you think you can still be liked and accepted and yet express some of this anger?
No. This is what I haven't been able to accept yet. If I get very angry at someone, I expect them to not accept me for it. Whereas you can express your anger to someone and you feel like they will accept you, and they do. But I don't have that ability, or I haven't acquired it yet. I have the capacity to learn this, I'm sure, but it's taking a while to learn it.
How did you feel in relation to this interview?
For some reason, I wasn't too keen on it this time. Heretofore, or last week, it didn't bother me. This week, it's bothering me a little.
Anything in particular about it that bothers you?
Nothing other than I'm just pinned down here for a while. If I should suddenly want to get up and go get a drink of water or something, I don't feel that I'm free to do that. And the tape is running, and it would create a little chaos. They'd have to shut down and then fire back up, and I've had some experience with this, and I know how aggravating it is to have to stop and then start again.
So this being pinned down, you said?
Yes, this is part of my problem. In fact, I place more emphasis on being pinned down in a given situation than I do people making me nervous, although people do make me nervous.
Was this so of some of the other situations that you'd mentioned to me?
Oh, yes.
Your fears of well, for hospitals, for example.
I'm pinned in. See, I'm up here on the 7th floor. I can't get out rapidly if I go in a building somewhere. I'm enclosed. I can't escape.